Most people think charging is simple. You plug it in, you charge it up, and you're done. But that's not how it really works. Picture this. You're at the airport, your phone's at 8%. Your flight's boarding in 20 minutes. You find a free outlet. You plug it in using your 160 watt charger you spent good money on. The one that's supposed to be the fastest thing that you own. And you look down, 20 watts. 20. That actually happened to me. And for the longest time, I thought it was the cable or the outlet or just a slow phone. It turns out it wasn't any of that. There's a reason for that 20 watts, and it's not what you think. Today, we're going to get into the actual science of charging. Why your original charger probably isn't your best option, why fast charging doesn't kill your battery the way that you think it does, and why one specific company spent 16 years quietly solving problems most of us never even knew existed. Because at the end of the day, charging isn't really about watts. It's about three things nobody talks about: power, temperature, and size. These three factors all directly affect the charging experience. And for a long time, it's been very difficult for chargers to balance all three well at the same time, let alone excel at all of them. But somehow Anker managed to do just that with the Anker Prime charger. 160 watts, 3 ports, and a smart display. Let's start with the power. Here's a question. Does a higher wattage charger actually charge your device faster? Now, most people would say yes, but most people would be wrong. When you plug your phone into a charger, the first thing that happens isn't power flowing. It's a handshake. More specifically, the charger typically begins supplying the phone with a small current at a default 5 volts. Then the phone sends a signal back to the charger to complete the protocol handshake. Only after the handshake is successful and the protocol is matched does the fast charging actually begin. Your device and the charger negotiate. They agree on terms. Only then does the real power move. You see, the wattage is the ceiling, not a guarantee. Charging speeds actually depend on 3 things: whether the protocol matches, whether the output stays stable, and how much your device actually needs to begin with. Most multi-port chargers use fixed power allocation, meaning they can't read what's plugged in. They just split the wattage evenly, hoping for the best. This is the problem Anker quietly solved with Anker Power IQ 5.0. Power IQ 5.0 identifies every device the moment you plug it in. It reads the individual device ID to determine the optimal power allocation, rather than relying on the protocol type. The result is one charger that delivers the same efficiency as 3 separate original Apple chargers running simultaneously. So, charging a 16-inch MacBook Pro plus an iPhone 17 Pro Max plus an 11-inch iPad Pro from 20 to 80% in the same time as the original charger. So no, the original charger is the baseline. Think about what an original charger actually is. 1 brick per device. You buy a new MacBook, that's 1 charger. You buy a new iPad, that's another charger. You buy a new phone, that's another charger. Suddenly your bag has 3 bricks in it. Each one is heavy, each one is bulky, each one costing you $60, $80, sometimes over $100 on its own. And each one only knows how to charge that one device at full speed. You plug in anything else and you're back to the baseline. That's the trade you've been making without even realizing it. So if you've got multiple charging needs, and most of us do these days, a multi-port charger like this one is genuinely the better call. 1 brick, 1 outlet, it handles your phone, your laptop, your tablet, your earbuds, all at the right speed for each. That is the upgrade. Okay, so the power is handled, but there's a bigger problem. Does fast charging kill your battery? I get this question more than any other, and the answer is not really, not in the way that you think. Fast charging is actually a negotiation. Your device is going to request exactly what it can handle. The charger delivers exactly that and nothing more. What actually kills batteries is heat. Heat over time. If your charger runs burning hot and your phone runs burning hot for hours every single day, that's what's going to accelerate battery aging. Not the speed, but the temperature. So what mainly affects battery health is the battery itself heating up during charging. And in this area, modern smartphones already do a fairly good job technically. So why is temperature control on the charger side still important? Because heat generated by the charger can also affect the charger's own performance. Its internal components may age faster, which can then affect its ability to deliver stable power output over time. So in that sense, having a charger with good temperature control is a necessary condition for helping protect the long-term health of your device's battery. This is where Anker built Active Shield 4.0, a 3-layer thermal management system. Full coverage thermal silicon distributes heat uniformly across the entire charger's body. L-shaped graphene channels move heat from the hot side to the cool side. And Active Shield 4.0 runs 10 million temperature checks per day. So how active are we talking? 10 million temperature checks per day per charger. This is why I genuinely don't think twice about leaving this thing plugged in overnight. Charging my MacBook Pro, my camera batteries, anything that I actually care about. The thermal math just works out. Now, slight warmth from a quality fast charger is normal, but hot to the touch, a burning smell, or abnormal sounds equals abnormal heat, which means stop using it immediately. So the power is solved, the temperature is solved, so what's left? Size. And this is where things get really nerdy. This also helps explain why chargers that support higher power output and strong heat dissipation can often end up being quite large in size. Now you guys have probably heard of GaN, gallium nitride, which has been the charger's buzzword for years now. More efficient than silicon, runs cooler, in theory it lets the charger get smaller. But here's what most brands won't tell you. GaN alone doesn't shrink the charger. The bottleneck isn't the chip, it's the circuit's design, specifically the inductor. At higher power, the inductor physically has to be a certain size. No amount of GaN can change that, which is why most high wattage chargers either look like a brick or they sacrifice the output. So Anker did something different. They built M-Buck. M-Buck changes voltage conversions from one big step into two smaller steps. Components get cut in half. Component stress gets cut in half. The inductor itself is compressed to 1/4 of its original volume. Now pair that with GaN's high frequency switching characteristics and the entire charging system runs more stably and efficiently in a much smaller space. That combination is what Anker calls GaN Prime 2.0. The result? 160 watts of output, 95% plus whole machine efficiency in a body roughly the size of an AirPods Pro case. This is the world's most compact 160 watt multi-port charger. 220 grams, folds flat, goes from your desk to your carry-on, and you genuinely don't notice it. Quick aside on this thing physically, in the hand it's about the same weight as an iPad mini. 3 USB-C ports lined up on the side, the smart display takes up the entire front face, and you can sit the brick on its edge so the wattage stays readable when it's plugged in. It looks like something Anker actually thought about, not just engineered, but designed. That matters when this thing is sitting on your desk every single day, because none of this happened overnight. Anker launches Power IQ, first technology to unify Apple and Android fast charging. One charger across every device. That was an industry first. Then Anker brings GaN into everyday consumer charging. They pulled the tech out of aerospace labs and into your travel bag. Again, an industry first. Then in 2025, GaN Prime 2.0, M-Buck, and a smart display. Charging goes from a black box to a fully visible, intelligent experience. Once again, an industry first. 16 years, 3 industry firsts. Quietly solving problems most of us never knew existed. Which brings me to the part that genuinely surprised me. This is the first charger that I've used where I can actually see what's happening. Real-time per port wattage on a touchscreen. And you get 3 modes. AI mode 2.0 that auto-detects every device. Custom mode you control through the app. And a standard mode for priority-based delivery. For the first time, charging isn't invisible. You see the science working. Watt by watt, port by port. Now I know what some of you guys are thinking. This is just an expensive charger. There are so many 100-watt bricks on Amazon for 1/3 of the price. Sure, you might be right. But you gotta remember there are also $5 USB-C cables that catch fire. The chargers most people buy are designed to a price point. This one's designed to a standard. There is a difference. And you feel it the moment you stop having to think about which port goes to which device, or whether you can leave it plugged in overnight, or whether the cheap brick you bought on Amazon is going to take out your MacBook one day. Now personally, I'm happy to have every penny go towards something that makes charging safer, smaller, and more effortless for me. As a consumer, you don't need to stress about protocols or thermal management or inductor volumes. All the complex science of charging, Anker quietly just takes care of it. You plug it in and it works every single time. That's the value. Anker is running a whole Ask Me Anker Thing series, where the team behind the products answer questions that most brands would never touch on camera. If you want to learn more or you want to check out the Anker Prime lineup for yourself, the link is pinned in the description and the top comment. It's definitely worth a watch if you're a tech nerd like me. My name is RJ, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one.